Alright, so yeah, then you plunge into darkness, which is where I left off. So, then we saw, we saw, outside of like the Arabian village or whatever it was there, we saw Aladdin and Abu, and Aladdin was totally a white guy, and it was really funny because he was speaking English, and there were all these Japanese, like, there were not as many foreigners as I thought there would be there. It was definitely like 99% Japanese people at the park. And I thought maybe because it was a big tourist attraction that there'd be like way more non-Japanese people there, but there weren't. But the guy was speaking English to these Japanese tourists who had no idea what he was saying. And I was thinking, like, I wonder if this guy, because we were standing there watching him and laughing, I wonder if this guy, like, has no embarrassment about playing this role and acting as goofy as he was for these Japanese people because they don't understand him. But I wonder if because we were there and we clearly understood what he was saying and how he was acting, I wonder if he like felt kind of embarrassed because I don't know, I just think like I would have because but then again, I just don't have the courage to get up in front of that many people and, act like a fool. But so maybe I guess I kind of respect him for that. What else? I don't know. So Disney was awesome, and I will definitely talk more about it in my journal, and I will show many more pictures, or I didn't show you any, so of course there'll be more. But yes, I have a lot of pictures to show. Also, then we spent the entire day at Disney that day. It was just Disney day, and that was like the best day of the whole trip to me. Then the next day, we didn't have a lot of time because we needed to get back. So what we did is we woke up, we had our delicious breakfast, we went back to Harajuku because there was a shirt that Natalie really wanted to see. And there was this one street when we had gone the day before that everybody was like taking pictures down, and we never went down that street because we were with Junpei and he was kind of like leading us to other areas, and we just never saw it. So we decided, hey, I really wanted to go near that street that everyone was taking the pictures down and see what it is. That street was the street of Harajuku, the street, like the one that when you think of Harajuku that is in your head, the one that in every movie that Harajuku's featured in it's this street. So I was really glad that we ended up going back because then we got to see it, and walking down it was cool, and there was so like that was like the street too where like all the cheap stores were for teenagers, because like in other areas of Harajuku it was like these these designer clothes, and it's like, okay, who can afford this stuff? No one. But on this street it was like more geared towards the teens that go there to shop, and it was like there was a Vivienne Westwood resale shop. There was Bodyline, which is a Lolita store. But what that company does is, because Lolita clothes are like super duper expensive, this company will make replicas of popular Lolita clothes and designs, and then they'll produce them and sell them at a much cheaper price so that people can wear and dress Lolita without the hefty price tag. Which, I wish Natalie was wearing an outfit, but I'll post a picture. We got Natalie a full-on Lolita outfit there, and it was really cool. And, I don't know, that street was just, like, it was awesome, because it was, like, when I was a little bit disappointed the first day that we went to Harajuku, because I was like, gosh, this is nothing like I pictured. This is nothing like I'd heard about in magazines or seen in movies. Like, has it just been, like, totally, like, have they just made it this thing that it's not? And I was just like, I don't know. I wasn't disappointed. It was still a really cool day, but I was just a little bit like, I don't know. I don't know a different word than disappointed, but it was almost, yeah, it was a little bit let down. Like, it just didn't meet my expectations. And then when we went back the second day and we found that street, it was totally the Harajuku I thought it was. Like, every expectation was met. Just packed with people on the street. Lots of trendy people, 1,000 tiny little shops and stores. It was like just a super cool place. And that, and after we did that, we stayed there till, I want to say like 5, I think 5, I think our Shinkansen left back for school at like 5:30. So we headed back then, and the whole trip was just fantastic. I'm really glad. It did cost a lot of money. It was very, very expensive, but it was totally 100% worth it. I loved it. And for future reference, for anyone who's thinking about going, yes, a lot of people said, just take the night bus. It's so much cheaper to get to Tokyo. And, you know, I don't want to spend like an entire sleepless night riding a bus that takes hours and hours and hours to get to Tokyo, jam-packed with people I don't know. Like, that just doesn't sound like a good time to me. I was glad that I spent the money on the Shinkansen ride and got to Tokyo faster, more comfortably, and got to not be like really tired and enjoy my time there fully. And, you know, we didn't stay in a hotel. We stayed in a hostel, a really inexpensive hostel that provided breakfast. So the money that we didn't spend there is the money that we could spend on the Shinkansen ride, and I thought that was like really the best way to do it. Like, I would totally recommend that method for anyone ever thinking of going. And I'd also recommend my hostel to anyone. Before we went, we found a lot of really negative feedback about our hostel, but I think it's under new management than it was then, because a lot of that negative feedback was old, and I need to go to a website and leave them some positive feedback, because it was really awesome. It was, the only downfall of the whole place was that the walls were thin and you could hear through them. You could hear people in the next room. But if you're only going to the hostel to sleep, which is all I mean, you're not hanging out in your room or something, it's not an issue, because everyone who's out gallivanting around all day long, they're all tired. So they're all going home and they're all being quiet and they're all going to sleep. So as long as you're not trying to like spend your day there, you know, and you don't, it's just like the walls being thin is just a complete non-issue. At least it was for us. And everything else about it, I mean, it's the cheapest one in the area. Yes, it's not actually in Tokyo. You have to take a 20-minute train ride to get there and back. However, the train fare is like nothing. It's like $2 to get there. So for the price of the hostel plus the $4 you're paying to get to Tokyo and back every day, it's still cheaper than like every other hostel, and they provide you a breakfast that other hostels really don't provide. So I say best idea, best place, and I would recommend it's JGH Tokyo. For anybody planning on going to the Tokyo area for a trip, that's where you should go. It was awesome. And if you have been there and you have similar experiences, then, you know, comment on this video and reinforce what I just said, because that'd be awesome. Anyway, so that was it. That was the trip to Tokyo. I need to go because we're going to go to the store soon, and I need to make a grocery list because I have like no food after going to Tokyo because we roomed out our fridge and we haven't gone shopping since we got back. So anyhow, that's all. That's my trip. If there's anything else, I already said this before, but if there's anything that you'd like to see a video about or something you want to know about, ask me questions and I will answer them. That's all. Bye.